straight to the moon, get your ticket now. Everybody line up, get your tickets, we're going. Did you buy the tip? Yeah. Do you like rocket ships? Oh, what yeah. You wanna try this shit? Yeah. We got everything you need, you better buy some bitty now. Everybody, long the Ponzi. Everybody, long the Ponzi. Everybody, love the Ponzi ride. Never short it. Bitcoin's back, alright.
Yes, indeed, Bitcoin is back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. Today's day is Monday, the 5th of July, 2021. Let's begin. Here we go. Rock and roll straight into these figures. Right, starting from left to right, we'll start with Coolcoin, Bcrash, Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin SV, BSV, which is the original protocol, which makes it the true Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin. And then we've got Amory's Elementary Fisher Price Cash on the end there. What a joke that is. So we'll kick off the show with Peter McCormack. So Peter, can you explain to us why we call a BTC Coolcoin?
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here.
Exactly, there we go.
It's a completely different project.
Exactly, it's nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It is a truly decentralized distributed network. Whereas since SegWit was implemented on the 24th of August 2017, which brought it under the centralized control of Blockstream, it turned Bitcoin from a commodity into a security and fundamentally worthless as money. So literally, you're right, it's nothing like it.
It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore.
Not to you it doesn't, because Satoshi's got nothing to do with Coolcoin.
Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project.
Which you would never want to do. He'd be driven out by pitchforks anyway, just like Gavin Andresen would, because the whole idea of Blockstream is that they don't want Bitcoin to succeed as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it didn't sound like it to me. Let's have that one more time.
Project Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
What? Like it wasn't before? Did you even bother reading the white paper, Pete? Honestly, what a joke. And let's have a listen to Tony Vase explaining that he is also confused about this. Take the floor, Tony Vase.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have, and that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017, they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin.
That's just absolutely hilarious. Honestly, like, the whole point of Satoshi Nakamoto, aka Craig Wright, designing Bitcoin with a chain of signatures is to hold everybody accountable, which means no one can do anything on the network that nobody else would know about. Since that chain of signatures has been broken, it means Blockstream now centrally control the network. They are accountable to nobody, which means the network is now fundamentally worthless as money. Utterly worthless. Dear oh dear. Shows you how confused these people are. So let's talk about Bcrash now. So Roger, can you tell us about your project?
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Yeah, Good luck with that, Roger. And what do you say to all those multinational companies who conduct billions, if not trillions of dollars of global trade on an annual basis that say they need a regulatory compliant monetary system in order to do so?
The ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Yeah, like that's going to work. So let's have a look at Bitcoin here. We've got hash rate 0.5%, network nodes 1.2, transactions. Look at that, 58.8% of the overall. That's like encroaching on 60% of the overall transactions on the entire Bitcoin network. That is massive, moving in the right direction. And look at the block size, 74.2. Absolutely massive. Loving that. Figures are looking good. So let's have a quick word with Michael Saylor, because I always love his enthusiasm when he comes on the show, telling us what we should be looking for. So Michael, you know, what is it that we want on Bitcoin?
Big blocks.
Yeah, what size?
$100 million chunks
That'd be nice. Whereabouts?
on the blockchain.
I thought so. Let's have a quick look at these big blocks then. See what we got here. So in terms of megabytes on Bitcoin, we've got 7221255, 156596253, 1195. That's all right, you know. I mean, for Bitcoin, it's a bit low, a bit on the low side, but you know, compared to these shitcoins, it's hilarious. Look at Amber. He's got how many? Look, he's still struggling to get over a kilobyte, let alone anywhere near a megabyte on that chain. Absolutely hilarious. And how many blocks do they actually have over a megabyte on Bcrash? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? And oh, look at this on Coolcoin. Look, they haven't even got all of their puny 1 megabyte blocks filled. Dear oh dear, dear oh dear, that's not looking good for them. Yeah, a 1 megabyte restriction and they can't even fill them. That's really quite funny. Right, hash rate. So hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. There we go. Proof of work by network, again, Coolcoin, Bcrash, Elementary Cash all fall into their own footprint because that's what Ponzi schemes do when they crash overnight. Bcrash Bitcoin hash rate, who cares? Bcrash Bitcoin proof of work, who cares? It is currently 16,800 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Coolcoin, which is cheaper than any of the other coins on the Bitcoin network. And look at this daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain size by network. Let's have a look at this proportionally. Look at that, Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. Love that. Daily Bitcoin transactions by network, Bitcoin winning. Daily Bitcoin transactions per block by network, Bitcoin winning. Fees, so this is actually fees in the block, not transaction fees, fees in the block. So, you know, proportionally. So that's to do with like transaction volume. So that's fees USD. Same thing, fees Satoshis. Block reward ratio to block reward fee. So again, we'll keep an eye on the percentages here because we're expecting a huge increase in price and volume, which will be pretty good. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. Let's actually have a look at this. Here we go. Let's expand this. There we go. Where are we now? So Bitcoin now with 400 gigabytes of data on chain. Fantastic. All right, loving that. Let's have a word with Craig and find out what we can expect from Bitcoin in the future.
We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks.
Almost the entire chain in one block. Amazing.
We've tested 1 million transactions a second.
Sweet.
And transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes.
Loving that. And the rest of it?
For that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally. Absolutely
amazing. Amazing. So let's have a look at see how far we are ahead. Look, 44 gigabytes in front of Coolcoin. Loving that. Loving that. All right, let's get back onto the politics then. So global hash rate 7 days, Ant Pool macking it this week. Global hash rate 24 hours, Ant Pool up there. That's Bitmain. So Core Coin is going to look very similar to global hash rate 24 hours because after all it is about 96-97% of it. Yeah, 97.7. So it's always going to look similar for the time being anyway, you know. So that's Core Coin. Let's have a look at B Crash. What a joke that is. Ant Pool macking it hard. Same with VIA BTC. They're all B crashers. Yeah, and BTC.com, another shitcoin enterprise. Just a complete. Both these protocols, Core Coin and B Crash, have no fundamental value as money. So there is literally no point in mining them whatsoever. And this is Bitcoin. Look at this. Good to see SV Pool turning up the heat. 6.9% of the hash rate. Great. Good to see VIA BTC down in last place because we know that they're probably one's responsible for manipulating the price. Just trying to keep all these other shitcoin enterprises off chain for as long as we can, really, because we don't really want them on there until they suddenly realize that Bitcoin is the only genuine Bitcoin and they literally have to dump all their bags to desperately get some, which is what they're going to be doing in the future. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. So this is Amory's eCrash. What a joke. What a joke that is. So anyway, let's have a look at the short positions on Bitfinex. Here we go. There we are. Let's see where we are. So we started off with a ratio of, it was 89% and we're now 92%. 92% shorting Bitcoin. They have no idea. What a joke that is. Let's have a look at Core Coin shorts. There we are. So we started off at the beginning of the month with 2.9% and we are now at 4.1. Wow, short positions have increased on Core Coin by a third, almost 30%. Wow. Cracks starting to emerge, people. Loving that. Loving that. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Blocks Live. Here we go. So for any newbies watching this for the first time, the vertical rectangular blocks which will be moving across the top of the screen are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. The moment they're recognized by more than 50% of the nodes on the network, which is instantly, because Bitcoin is an ultra small world mandala network shaped like this, which basically means that as the size of the network increases, the density of the links goes to 0, making it ultra small world and highly sparse respectively. It also means that the network formulation can lead to an improved topology against malicious attacks, as if one node goes down, another one picks it up. It is a phenomenal system. Yes, indeed. So once the transactions are recognized by more than 50% of the nodes on the network, they're then thrown into the memory pool, which is where they are competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within a block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is when they are rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So we've currently got a 95.8 megabyte block here, and in the highlighted rectangular box at the bottom you can see the hash of the block height, who it was mined by, size, the time, the date, the transaction count, and the total fees. So it's these fees in the block that will eventually surpass the block reward in the future, as we will let Laura Shin explain in just a second. But let's just check the charts quickly, see if there's any movers and shakers. That's alright, always worth checking. Right, Laura Shin, let us explain the whole point of the fees in the block. Here we go.
So, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer 1, because the number of layer 1 transactions is limited. And right now, I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer 2. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
Over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If it is the world reserve currency, there'll be very, very many layer one transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer one to replace the block reward when the time comes.
Absolutely, there won't be enough to replace the block reward when the time comes, because it's been purposely restricted to 4.6 transactions per second, maybe 7 if all the stars align. Do you honestly think that 7 transactions a second is going to service all of this lot? Bitcoin was designed to do millions, if not billions, of transactions per second. It is the world's first ever commercial internet. It is the backbone of the new financial system. 7 transactions a second. What a joke. What a joke. Let's have a look at BitInfo charts. Look at this. Where are we now? 14.4% of the overall transactions on the entire shit show, which is pretty amazing. So, and we know that XRP are absolutely fundamentally worthless and utterly useless. So we'll just have a listen to the Chief Technical Officer of Ripple Labs explaining that XRP is fundamentally worthless.
The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
Good question. How did you end up with half the supply?
So the way its design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs.
And remind me to look up the economic theory of being up for grabs. What a joke.
And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system, but it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined, huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it.
Brilliant. Let's have that one more time, David.
The people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it.
And Ethereum developers telling us they knew it couldn't scale before they even launched it.
It scales somewhat.
It hardly scales at all.
Plans or initial we knew it wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
Did you now? Fancied telling anybody about that maybe? It probably could have helped and saved people a lot of money. Good grief. So let's have a look at transactions. 24 hours over 3 years on a log curve. Can you spot Bitcoin? Yes, indeed. In the purple, looking very strong. Loving that. Scaling test network, always worth checking the figures. Yeah, all right, good. Now let's have a listen to Shadows talking about Terranode.
We have run this across all 10 nodes, and I have actually seen volumes in excess of 100,000 per second. I wasn't quite brave enough to try that one today, live on stage. But there we have a real-life example of a Terranode that is able to scale. If I had more time, I would show you one that's actually running at a steady-state capacity and show that it actually can continue for a long period of time without any problems.
Amazing, loving that. Shout out to Mike Murphy in the chat box. He says this literally means it's a security. Yep, XRP is absolutely a security. That's exactly what it means. It's fundamentally worthless as money. Now let's listen to the disclaimer on Terranode.
For reference, we don't think that the Bitcoin SV software would be able to handle a validation rate like that at this point in time. But
amazing. Let's have a listen to the timeline.
By the end of this month, we're hoping to actually have alpha versions of Terranode listening on the mainnet. They won't be trying to produce blocks. They'll just be listening and processing peer-to-peer messages. We'll also build, we have built scale testnets, global scale testnets for the Terranode specifically. We can't do this on the scaling testnet because we'll crush it.
Amazing, and it looks like the SEC might be ready to crush XRP. I'm going to click on that link. Can you send that to me on Twitter? Because I'm looking at the the comments on my Twitch feed on my tablet, so I can't actually click the link. So that'd be great. Thank you very much. Here we go, Shadows.
Because we have proven that Terranode can scale, we've proven what Satoshi always said about Bitcoin. Bitcoin can and does scale. Thank you very much.
Thank you. More like Steve. Absolutely beautiful. Trends.cash. Wow. TDXP app. Look at that. Absolutely smashing it. 87.5%. You know, degenerate gamblers, but you know, dirty traders can be unsullied on TDXP app because it doesn't actually dump the asset itself. Apps ranking by performed action run SV. So again, I mean, a lot of that is you know, the morning run activity. But I mean, I mean, there's I think there's a bit of like the weapons and all that on crypto fights, maybe on run. I'm not sure, but I'll have to have a chat with Kurt about that. But good to see all these applications, you know, doing performed actions. No longer just a weather app, Peter McCormack. CryptoQuant, yet the exchanges have been cashing out because they know that BTC is absolutely fundamentally worthless. And as they were cashing out, Tether was trying to counteract their selling by increasing the supply, which has caused a liquidity squeeze and a massive spike in the price. It's not looking good. Let's have a look at what's on chain. There we go. Let's have a look at this. Estimated next block size, 18.45 megabytes. Memory pool usage currently at 32.8. Look at these transactions coming in. Beautiful. This shows the utility on chain as we're speaking. It is not a Ponzi scheme because it has real utility. Let's have a look at Joho's memory pool. Look at this. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. Got some large chunks of data coming in here. Very good, very good. This is what a memory pool is meant to look like. What it's not meant to look like is an actual swimming pool, like BTC. I mean, look at the state of this. Look at the state of this. I mean, it's all over the shop. They have utterly royally effed it up, and we can see the effects that it has on TX Street. Here we go. So let's have a word with Adam Back, the Chief Executive Officer at Blockstream, and his expectations of a payment network.
So, you know, fee estimation in some cases is quite bad. You know, if you're paying a friend, you can probably afford to wait 4 hours and not pay a priority fee.
Oh, shut up. Just shut up. Median fees, look at that, $3.21. So remember to add that on top of your coffee. What a joke that is. And Ethereum transfer fee, $1.04. What have you got to say about that, Vitalik?
The internet of money should not cost 5 cents a transaction. It's kind of absurd.
Really? So it should cost, what, $1.04? What a joke that is. And let's have a look at our own issues that we're dealing with. This is the excessive money supply that has been printed. The US dollar inflated to infinity. Absolutely insane. What do we know about excessive money printing?
Statistical analysis has found that every time an empire begins to near its own demise, you'll find that its currency will be debased.
Yeah, it's not looking good. So knowing that Bitcoin is the only thing that can save us, how are we feeling about it this morning, CoinGecko? 76%, feeling good, loving that, loving that. Let's have a look at BitPing and the money flow per hour, 72 cents at the moment. And this is the Bitcoin network monitoring all the other networks around the world, because Bitcoin is the only network that stays up 24/7. That's that, loving that, loving that, beautiful. Morning run, so we've got, oh dear, a $10,086, $10,860 24-hour trade volume. Just stay away from this, people. Move fast and break stuff does not mean breaking the law. However, BSV is the only genuine commodity here. Look at this. So we've got 421,641 purchases over a 24-hour period. This is interesting. I mean, it just shows you the number of people that are actually in on this. You know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Prices are currently $147. Imagine picking up genuine Bitcoin for $147. How crazy is that? 24-hour trade volume, 11.97. That would be $1 million. Because the it hasn't got a market cap. So $11 million to $2.7 billion market cap. So let me think. 20 million would be 10% of that. So 2% would be 1% of that. And we've got 11 million. So it's about one. It's about 5%. 5% trade volume. All right, we'll compare that to Corecoin in just a mo. So let's have a look at the depth chart. So we've got 4.9 million bids versus 3.8 million asks. Positive numbers at the moment. Price going upsy downsy. Let's have a look at Bitfinex. This is Bitcoin versus US dollar. Ooh, buying opportunity just came in there. Look at that. Price just tanked. Oof. Might treat myself. Why not? And let's have a look at Corecoin versus the US dollar. What's going on here? Oh, that price has just tanked as well. It's followed it. It's followed it down. You know, dirty traders. Look at that. Whoa, it's tanking. Oof. So that's actually fallen from almost like 36,000 down to 33.5. That's a huge decrease. Jeepers. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Corecoin. It's kind of it's sort of separating from it. Never mind. You know, sort of, you know, ups and downs. Who knows? Right, let's have a look at the trade volume here. So we've got a $13 billion 24-hour trade volume, supporting a market cap of 631 billion. So again, 60 billion would be 10%, 6 billion would be 1%, so roughly 2%. So that's actually really quite low. So wow. So there's only a 2% trade volume supporting the entire market cap, and a $13 billion trade volume that could be crushed literally overnight. So Bitcoin now with a 5% 24-hour trade volume was Corecoin only with 2%. Oh dear, that's not looking good for them, is it? So down 3.9% over 24 hours. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Where are we? 2.96. Winning. We'll take that. Good. Let's have a look at YouTube. 581 subscribers. Thank you very much. And I've got another follow on Streamanity. Excellent. Made 60 cents from the previous video. Good. Let's have a look at Twitch. I made $107 so far. Try earning that on Twitter. And let's have a look at Twitch statistics here. Acorn Stack. Where are we? New users, signups 24 hours, 24, one per hour over the last 24 hours. Better than nothing. That's all right. My followers 422. And let's have a look at Ruthie's tweet, 966, now 967. Let's look at our man Satoshi. Where is he doing? 79.6k followers. That should be way over 80 by now. You know, Twitter taking his followers away. Stablecoin printer. Let's see what's going on. Binance USD. Good grief. And that's it. Even USDC seemed to have calmed down a little bit. But there we go. Right, shout out to Mike Murphy in the chat box. Thank you for joining me this morning. We're now up to date with the figures. 29 minutes gone. Hope you enjoyed the show. That's it. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.